In this video, we are going to be discussing how to find the area of a triangle. So this is going to be the area of any triangle. You already know how to find the area of a right triangle by finding the 1/2 base times height. But a lot of the times, finding the height isn't as easy as it should be. So for instance, we use the word altitude for height, and that height isn't always going to be one of the sides that we know. So that means there's more math involved. One of the nice things though is that there's an actual formula for this. So the area of a triangle, K, equals 1/2 times 2 sides times the sine of the enclosed angle of those two sides. So that's why there are 3 different formulas, because we have 3 different angles we could look at and they're enclosing sides. So what I mean by an enclosing side is that we have an angle and then we have their 2 sides that make that angle. So here is an angle that is formed by the side B and the side C. So we're using the enclosure of those 2 sides in that angle. And as long as you know those 3 pieces of information, you can just plug it into the formula. And if you kind of look closely at the formula, it almost looks like a 1/2 times base times height. There's just this extra part of the sine of the angle. And that sine of that angle is helping us find the altitude. So let's get a look at some problems. So we want to find the area of triangle ABC. Given that we have angle A to be 48 degrees, side B is 4.7, and side C is 12.4 inches. So let's sketch this triangle and see what this looks like. So I'll say this is A, this is B, this is C. So this is 48 degrees. Side B, so opposite of that angle B, is 4.7 inches. And side C was 12.4 inches. So I can see that I have the 2 sides that enclose angle A. So that means I can just go straight to the formula. That is K equals B times C times the sine of angle A. And we have side B, we have side C, we have angle A, but again, it's just the, or 1/2. So it's really just the 2 sides of the enclosure times the sine of that enclosed angle. So it doesn't matter what variable names you remember it as, it's just area equals 1/2 times the 2 sides that enclosed the angle, so the sine of that angle. So this is going to be K equals 1/2 times B, which was 4.7 inches, times C, which was 12.4 inches. Notice I'm putting the units in here to help us remember that we are going to have a squared unit for area. So at this point, I'm just going to be putting this into my calculator. Inch times inch gives me the unit of inch squared. So that way I remember that this area is going to have a squared unit. So putting in 1/2 times 4.7 times 12.4 times the sine of 48 gives me an area of 21.66 inches squared. So basically, this is the same amount of effort as 1/2 base times height. There's just a little piece more you just have to add in your calculations, but it's not too difficult. So you don't have to try to go and find that altitude. It's strictly here for you. So let's try another one. So here we have, we're looking for the area. We're given angle D, angle E, and side D. So let's sketch this up. So D, E, F. D was 34.4 degrees. E was 14.8 degrees, and side D was 13.9 feet. So looking here, I only have one side, so as of right now, this isn't going to go as smoothly as the last example. I need more work. I need to find one more side. I need to either find this side, because then I would have, or let me put that as a lowercase f. I need to find F, and that would give me the enclosure of side F, angle E, and side D. I would have this enclosure right here. So let's do that. Let's go and find F. So to find F, we could do the law of sines because I have this ratio. I have my D. So I have the angle D and side D, so that ratio is completed. I just need to find angle F in order to help me find side F. And I can do that because the sum of the interior angles is going to be 180. So I could just do 180 minus the two angles that I have, so 34.4 minus 14.8, and that's going to give me 130.8 degrees. So again, this is not drawn to scale, so don't worry about your drawings. Just draw a non-right triangle to the best of your ability and just fit things in as you go. So now I have the completed ratio, and now I have angle F to help me find side F. So since I'm solving for a side, I'm going to use the law of sines, but I'm going to put my sides up on the numerator. So we have side D, so 13.9, over the sine of angle D, which was 34.4. And that's going to equal side F over the sine of angle F, which was 130.8. So solving for F, I need to multiply by the sine of 130.8 on both sides. So plugging that into my calculator, I get side F equals 18.62 feet. So now I have the enclosure. I have a side, the angle, and a side. So now I can just plug it into the formula. So it's K equals 1/2 times the two sides, so 18.62 times 13.9 times the sine of that enclosed angle, which was 14.8. So plugging that into my calculator, and remembering that each of these units is a foot, so this is going to give me a feet squared as a unit answer. So 1/2 times 18.62 times 13.9 times the sine of 14.8 gives me 33.06 feet squared for the area of this triangle. So I have two U-tries for you to try. So pause this video and work them out, and when you come back, we will check the answers. So on the first one, you should have had 29.58 inches squared, and on the second one, you should have had 68.66 feet squared.